In a world obsessed with flash and theatrics, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has emerged as a different kind of superstar, one who doesn't need to shout to be heard. He moves with intention, speaks with clarity, and plays with a composure that feels almost meditative. As the heart of the Oklahoma City Thunder and the 2025 NBA MVP, Shai's rise hasn't just elevated a franchise, it's shifted the very perception of what modern leadership in sports looks like. But before the accolades, the YouTube highlights, and the Vogue spreads, there was Hamilton, a steel-forged city just outside of Toronto, Canada. That's where Shai learned how to lead, not by commanding attention, but by mastering his craft. Born on July 12, 1998, in Toronto and raised in Hamilton, Shai grew up under the dual influences of sport and sacrifice. His mother, Charmaine Gilgeous, an Olympic sprinter for Antigua and Barbuda, instilled in him the relentlessness of the track. His father, Von Alexander, a basketball coach, nurtured the cerebral side of the game. Their household, modest in material wealth but rich in discipline, formed the crucible where Shai's identity was forged. That identity, rooted in Caribbean pride, Canadian resilience, and a deep sense of humility, would go on to shape one of basketball's most compelling stories. While many athletes are defined by their explosiveness, Shai's genius lies in the opposite: patience, pace, poise. Whether weaving through defenders or delivering a key assist, he plays like someone who's seen the future and knows there's no need to rush. From an early age, it was clear that Shai was built differently. As a child competing with his older brother, Thomas, on cracked neighborhood courts, he learned how to navigate physicality with finesse. By 10, he was already showing signs of elite control, long limbs gliding past defenders, an advanced feel for spacing, and an instinct for timing that made him a puzzle opposing players couldn't solve. After making his mark at Sir Allan McNabb Secondary School, Shai took a leap of faith, moving to the U.S. to chase greater competition. First to St. Thomas More in Connecticut, and then to Hamilton Heights Christian Academy in Tennessee, he continued to evolve, not just as a scorer, but as a multidimensional playmaker. By the time he was averaging over 22 points and 5 assists per game as a senior, the quiet kid from Hamilton had become a national recruit with international ambitions. His decision to commit to the University of Kentucky in 2017 placed him in a pipeline long known for producing NBA-ready guards. But even in that elite environment, Shai's rise wasn't instant. He began his freshman season off the bench, patiently absorbing lessons until his performance made starting him a necessity. His averages, 14.4 points, 5.1 assists, and 4.1 rebounds, only told part of the story. What truly stood out was his decision-making, his clutch shot-making, and his unshakable calm in high-pressure situations. When he declared for the NBA draft in 2018, many scouts described him as a sleeper pick. Selected 11th overall by the Charlotte Hornets and traded to the Los Angeles Clippers, Shai didn't explode onto the scene, he glided. Even as a rookie, he gave glimpses of his potential with crafty finishes and lockdown defense. But it wasn't until he was traded to Oklahoma City in 2019, in the blockbuster deal for Paul George, that the true depth of his talent began to emerge. In a franchise defined by transition and youth, Shai became a pillar. While OKC cycled through rebuilds and lottery picks, he put his head down and worked. Under coach Mark Daigneault's guidance, he refined every part of his game. By the 2020-21 season, he was scoring nearly 24 points per game on over 50% shooting, drawing comparisons to elite scorers from the past, but with a tempo all his own. The turning point came in the 2022-23 campaign. Now the unquestioned leader of a rising Thunder squad, Shai delivered night after night. He averaged over 31 points, led the team to the play-in tournament, and earned his first All-Star and All-NBA first-team selections. The next year, he raised the bar again, driving OKC to a 57-win season and the #1 seed in the Western Conference. In 2024-25, he finally claimed the league's highest individual honor, NBA Most Valuable Player. But perhaps what made that season even more significant was what he did with the pressure. While others may have crumbled under MVP-level scrutiny, Shai elevated. He posted 30.4 points, 7.2 assists, and 5.8 rebounds per game, and guided the Thunder to the NBA Finals, their first since 2012. Though they fell to the Boston Celtics in 6 hard-fought games, Shai's impact was undeniable. His 44-point Game 4 performance, marked by impossible mid-range jumpers and icy calm, became an instant classic. And yet, even as the numbers pile up, over 18,000 career points, 2 All-Star nods, and a 49.8% career field goal percentage, Shai remains a study in duality. Soft-spoken yet assertive, methodical yet electrifying. His game isn't built on poster dunks or deep threes. It's about controlling the floor, mastering tempo, and delivering in moments that matter. Ask his teammates, and they'll tell you he's a coach on the floor. Ask his opponents, and they'll admit they never know what's coming next. Off the court, Shai's influence is just as expansive. In 2020, he launched the SGA Foundation, an initiative aimed at empowering underserved youth in Hamilton and Antigua and Barbuda through education, mentorship, and athletics. By 2025, the foundation had raised over $1.8 million, funding community centers, academic scholarships, and youth basketball camps. One of the crown jewels is the refurbished court at Victoria Park in Hamilton, a vibrant space where kids now play under murals of their hometown hero. His partnership with Converse produced the Shai Weapon sneaker, sleek, minimalist, and sold out within weeks. Meanwhile, his docuseries Northern Star, released on Amazon Prime, offered a rare glimpse into his upbringing and values, garnering praise for its emotional depth and authenticity. On social media, his 2.8 million followers get snapshots of his real life. Caribbean food, family traditions, carefully curated fits, and motivational insights. Shai's sense of cultural representation is also core to his identity. As a proud Canadian and descendant of Antiguan heritage, he's become a global ambassador for multicultural pride. He led Team Canada to a bronze medal at the 2023 FIBA World Cup and is expected to headline the Canadian squad at the 2028 Olympics. In a league dominated by American narratives, Shai represents a broader, more inclusive version of basketball stardom. Financially, he's set, thanks to a $225 million NBA contract and endorsements with brands like Nike, Gatorade, and Canadian Tire. But his investments are more about roots than riches. From real estate developments in Hamilton to youth initiatives abroad, Shai's approach is about lasting legacy over fleeting luxury. In his personal life, he keeps things intentionally private. Since 2018, he's been in a steady relationship with Haitian-Canadian model Hailey Summers, and in 2024, they welcomed their son, Elijah. His mother calls him "my miracle." His teammates call him the anchor. To fans in Hamilton and across Canada, he's simply Shai, the quiet kid who never stopped believing. In a 2025 ESPN interview, Shai summed up his journey with typical subtlety. "I don't have to be loud. My game says enough." That statement, like his career, is layered. Behind the calm exterior is a relentless worker, a community builder, and a player who has redefined what greatness can look like when it's driven by inner purpose instead of outward ego. So the next time you see him glide past defenders or pull up with that smooth mid-range jumper, remember, it's not just about the shot, it's about the story. The journey from Hamilton to hardwood legend. The quiet force of a man who stayed true, stayed smooth, and changed the game without ever needing to yell.